Today we're looking at Psalm number 5. This is one of the Psalms where the psalmist, who is a good man and loves God and loves God's law and wants to live according to God's standards and laws, is distressed because there are lots of people out there who don't. He's distressed because of the wicked. He's distressed because the wicked are even among God's people, and even it seems among those who worship in God's house. He's not claiming to be perfect. It isn't a psalm of a self-righteous man at all. This is a man, as we'll see, who depends on God's mercy and knows he depends on God's mercy, but who loves good and hates evil. And that's quite a strong theme in the Psalms. We have David, who didn't live a perfect life and made some really severe, serious mistakes and was punished for them. David loves God, and he does love good, and he hates evil. And when his own evil is pointed out to him, he repents at great depth. And here, this is a psalm attributed to David. The little ascription at the top in the Hebrew says, "To the leader for the flutes, a psalm of David." And clearly this man loves good and loves God and depends on God's mercy, but is really disturbed by the evil in the world and the evil close at hand. Give ear to my words, O Lord, give heed to my sighing. Listen to the sound of my cry, my King and my God, for to you I pray. O Lord, in the morning you hear my voice. In the morning I plead my case to you and watch, for you are not a God who delights in wickedness. Evil will not sojourn with you. The boastful will not stand before your eyes. You hate all evildoers. You destroy those who speak lies. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful. He wakes up in the morning and he wants to get to his prayers, and he doesn't put it that way. He just wants to talk to his Lord in the morning. And he's sighing, he's crying, he's calling out to God because there's evil in the world. There's wickedness even among the people of God, and he knows that God doesn't delight in it, but it's still there. Lord, why do the wicked prosper? It's still there, this evil and wickedness and boastfulness and lies and bloodthirst and deceit is there among God's people. And the psalmist knows that God hates it, and he's perplexed. He's perplexed that it's there among us. It's okay to take your perplexity to God. If you see something on the news or read something really unpleasant that's happening, people just acting cruelly and or dreadfully, and it just churns you up, you can take that churned upness to God. That's what this psalmist is doing. Lord, I'm just churned up by this evil I see around me. I know you hate it, Lord. I know you don't like it, but it's just doing my head in. Please, Lord. He's not proposing at this point any solution. He's just telling God how he feels. And that's what the Psalms so wonderfully enable us to do. But is he thinking he is okay? Is he like that dreadful man in Jesus' parable, the Pharisee, who says, Lord, I thank you I'm not like others. I thank you I'm not a sinner, and blah, blah. No, this psalmist isn't doing that, because he continues in verse 7. But I, through the abundance of your steadfast love, will enter your house. I will bow down towards your holy temple in awe. If you lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness, because of my enemies, make my way straight before me. He knows it's only God's steadfast love, otherwise sometimes translated as God's mercy. It's only through God's mercy that he can enter his house and bow before him. He knows that God's righteousness is still something he needs to aspire to. Lead me, Lord, in your righteousness. He isn't saying, I'm perfect, I have a right to be in God's presence. He isn't saying I'm living a righteous life. He's saying, lead me, Lord, in your righteousness. Receive me, allow me to worship you in your mercy, because I know I'm a sinner and I'm not perfect. It's a wonderful psalm for coming into God's presence when we're conscious of sin all around us and sin within. And then he's back to the difficulties, for there is no truth in their mouths, their hearts are destruction, their throats are open graves, they flatter with their tongues, make them bear their guilt, O God. Let them fall by their own counsels, because of their many transgressions, cast them out, for they've rebelled against you. He's hurt and angry by the sin of the world, but he's more upset that they've rebelled against God. This is for God's honor. Cast them out, for they have rebelled against you. It's not evil as such that he is objecting to, though he doesn't like evil. That's good. It's the fact that God is being defied. They have rebelled against you. That really gets him, because he knows God is the Lord and he shouldn't be defied. And then he closes, but let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them sing for joy. Spread your protection over them, so that those who love your name may exult in you. For you bless the righteous, O Lord, you cover them with favor as with a shield. There's this idea of protection or a shield, keeping the righteous, that is those who want to walk with God, safe, keeping them from being too much affected and tainted by the sin of the world. It's a psalm of perplexity that evil still thrives and wickedness does well. It's a psalm of humility. I need to come into your house through your mercy. It's a psalm of some degree of confidence that God will protect and he will be a refuge for those who come to him. Get into it, read it through, pray through this wonderful psalm, Psalm 5. Amen.